Namaste everyone, welcome back to Dr. Arjun Pai's Astrology channel. Today we are continuing our series with Kṣaṇāti on our Dharma of Nakshatras, and today we're going to be continuing from Leo. So Namaste Kṣaṇāti, welcome.
Namaste, Navjeet ji. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here with you as always. I was looking forward to our time together very much today. I know we've been doing these sessions every week, but last week I had the coronavirus for the fourth time. So now I'm back on my feet and excited to be sharing the beautiful wisdom of Jyotish with our community today. I'd like to start before we go into Magha, Purvaphalguni, and Uttaraphalguni for Dharma to do a little chant to our Guru, Amritananda Mahima.
Okay.
Tvameva matacha peta tvameva bandhu saka tvameva vidya dravanam tvameva sarvam Amriteshwaryai Namah. Tvameva sarvam Amriteshwaryai Namah. Tvameva sarvam Mata Amritananda Mahima Maharani ki Jai. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Namaste. Excellent. So let's get into it. I'm very excited. I'm feeling full of energy. So first I want to discuss the Dharma of Magha Nakshatra. When we begin to discuss Magha Nakshatra, to understand again, for anyone who may be tuning into this video for the first time, you do not have to have a planet in the first, fifth, ninth house, or Jupiter in a certain nakshatra for it to be a Dharma nakshatra. All of the planets are Dharma nakshatras because they are influencing our Dharma, because we have a spiritual lesson where the karma palam, the karmic fruit, joins together and releases our karma through our lessons in each nakshatra. So it is connected to deep aspects of Dharmic evolution. So first we'll be discussing Magha Nakshatra, which falls from the beginning of Leo, which is the 0 degree, to 13.2 degree of Leo. So it's really that first chunk of Leo. The influencing graha is actually an upagraha, or shadow planet named Ketu, the south lunar node. The influencing or ruling deity are the Pitras, the divine ancestors. And it's very important to understand these energies of Ketu and the Pitras to understand the Dharma of Magha Nakshatra. Now, a lot of people think because of Leo's position and Magha here that it's really about leadership and it's really about being powerful. But we have to understand Ketu's influence on this nakshatra to understand that a true leader is the most humble of all leaders, right? Individuals are considered, it's the human condition to have some selfishness, to be, when we want something, we want it for ourselves, and we want it now, and we want to feel good, and we want to feel pleasure. But this is not what Magha Nakshatra wants for us, and it is not what the Pitras, the divine ancestors, want for us. They want us to be God realized, God actualized, to understand the essential divinity within ourselves, which is to truly understand the essential divinity within all of humankind. There is a lot of understanding in terms of this being a royal nakshatra, even though it's considered a laborer in terms of the caste, it has a very royal energy. And that because the symbol actually for Magha Nakshatra is the throne from which the king or the queen sits. So how is this understanding our Dharma? Well, the primary energy here is to actually want what's best for other people. I mean, a true good king or a true good queen is actually more concerned about the townspeople, more concerned about the village than they are with the condition of the castle. And this is to truly get to the root of the Dharma of the Magha Nakshatra, which is how on a daily basis, when I wake up, can I make other people's lives better? Can I make friends' lives better? Can I make my family lives better? And even most importantly, because K2 is often associated with the common people or peasants or people who are struggling in an economic condition or financially, how can I help those that are less fortunate? And so the real laborer energy of this is, how can I help the laborers? You know what I'm saying? Like, how can I be able to serve them and benefit them? You know, because if you think about the connection to the Pitras, which is the connection to the ancestors, you know, a lot of us have migrated from other countries at this point. It's 2024. And in the experience of coming to the Western world, I know you're in Canada, Navjeet, and I'm in Pennsylvania. Well, your ancestors are from India, and my ancestors are from Israel and Ukraine and Russia. And if we look back at our great grandparents, our great 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 grandparents, and their journey here, it usually is one of economic challenge, right? They came over here in a less fortunate position to create a more fortunate lives for us. And that is where this divine energy of honoring our ancestors comes from, and the sacrifice that they made for the freedom and the happiness and the economic peace that we have today. Is okay, it's easy when you've been given everything and you're, I don't know, 2, 3 generations separated away from your ancestors who had to go through economic struggles, who had to go through wars, who had to go through class issues. When we come over here and they build a better life for us, it's easy for a human being to feel entitled. Oh, well, I've had good food my whole life, and I've had good education in my whole life, and I've had a good job my whole life, so I deserve those things. And this is the opposite of the Dharma of the Magha Nakshatra. The Dharma of Magha Nakshatra is to say, you know what? My grandparents, my great grandparents, my parents, they sacrificed so much for me to have this amazing life that I have today. So, what can I do in order to honor them? And it's really, that's where the sun's energy with the Leo position comes in here. It's, I need to reach my full potential. I need to be empowered in myself. They made all those sacrifices so I could do what I want and reach my full potential in this life. And a lot of these Leo Nakshatra energies are pushing us to this higher vibration. I mean, there's really a limitless energy here. So again, just to understand, as we rise to the throne, which is the symbol of Magha Nakshatra, which is the Dharma, which is the self-realization of our inherent divinity, that doesn't mean that just because we're in a position of power, we're in a position of freedom, that we need to forget where we came from. We need to honor where we came from. We need to honor our ancestors and K2's influence here. They always say, and I've seen this a lot with Magha, the taller the tree, the bigger the fall. And this is what I'm talking about, is the ego. The Dharma of the Magha Nakshatra is to rise to the power, but at the destruction of ego, at the destruction of the false ego. And so K2 will only allow the position of power that someone comes in with Magha to remain stable if they remain humble throughout it and help other people. So K2 is, yes, it usually with Magha will bring a position of power, but it's also about the renunciation of that in a humble, non-egotistical state. And so to truly understand the Dharma of Magha Nakshatra, we have to understand it's the realization of our inherent divinity. It's the realization of our inherent power. And to understand in a humble way that that power is given to us so that we can make other people's lives better, so we can make the world a better place. Also, honoring our ancestors and the sacrifices and the compromises that they have made to give us the better life that we have today. So, you know, when an adharmic vibration of Magha Nakshatra is the egotistic, dictatorial, fascist leader who doesn't care about his people, is only concerned with his economic condition, and the true clear archetype of the Maharaja Dharma is the leader who is a king or queen for the people, who's honoring the ancestors, who is spiritually whole within themselves and follows a daily religious or spiritual practice. So I think this is an interesting and hopefully powerful take on Magha Nakshatra, which is helpful for all the Magha natives out there.
Thank you. Thank you, Shannon. That was wonderful. As always, I learned so much. I'm learning so much in all this nakshatra series about all the nakshatras. So thank you.
Thank you, Navjeet ji. I'm very enthusiastic about this series because it's very near and dear to my heart to be able to understand the evolution that these nakshatras takes us on this journey of our own spiritual evolution. I've even done some recent posts about, you know, the emphasis on the therapeutic application of Jyotish and getting away from just the focus on the predictive, because I think when you take the predictive and the therapeutic and you mix it together, that's when it really becomes a healing science versus something that's more esoteric, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So Purvaphalguni Nakshatra. So Purvaphalguni Nakshatra is from 13.2 degrees of Leo to 26.4 degrees of Leo. So it's going to take the whole pretty much second half of Leo, except for a few degrees. The influencing planet is Shukra Deva, or Venus. The presiding deity over this nakshatra is Lord Magha. And the symbol of this nakshatra is the hammock or the canopy bed. And so Purvaphalguni is a nakshatra that's very near and dear to my heart. It's my Ketu nakshatra. So I have a lot of energy within this nakshatra. Always really, I have a 1-7 Rahu Ketu axis, so it's very strong influence on my chart. Understanding Magha. Magha is the presiding deity, which is often associated with love and is often associated with wealth. And I mean, one of the symbols, in addition to the hammock for Purvaphalguni, is the Phalguni, is the Shiva Lingam. I mean, this is an important understanding that this is also associated with this nakshatra. So Purvaphalguni with Magha is truly influencing us to learn all of the lessons which have to do with what love truly is. And love has many different aspects, and this wants us to kind of approach those aspects in a way that allows us for self-realization. But one of the beautiful things about Purvaphalguni and its dharma is the potential for a divine partnership in which the individual who's the Purvaphalguni helps their spouse self-realize, and that the spouse helps them self-realize. You know, oftentimes we look to a priest, oftentimes we look to Satguru to better understand, you know, our spiritual path. But oftentimes, and many people who are not spiritual religious will tell you this, there is no greater spiritual teacher than our romantic partner. Because that's the mirror. That's the mirror between two individuals in which this person is always showing you your weakness. This person is always showing you their strengths. And if you want to have a good relationship, you need to try to be your best self, because you're always going to be reflecting good and bad energy between you and your partner. So, I mean, that's a very important energy to understand here with Magha, which is the divine energy of prosperity. Because when the Dharma of Purvaphalguni, which is the honoring and the respect of our partner, and being respected and honored by a partner, in that divine partnership, prosperity is going to be cultivated through a beautiful, loving relationship. The soil that in which is being watered becomes fertile so that all plants can grow. And this is where true love takes place. And again, just because you have Purvaphalguni Dharma doesn't mean it's all about romantic love. Because not everyone has destiny of romantic love, but everyone has destiny of love. And so it's really about when you love someone, how do you meet them? It's like this. Here's the Dharma of Purvaphalguni. When you're alone, you be in a bad mood because you're not affecting other people. You know, you can be kind of grumpy, or you can be kind of tired, or you can be kind of sad, whatever, because it's not negatively impacting others. But Purvaphalguni Dharma is about the divine empowerment of the other. So that means that when you go, if you have Purvaphalguni position, to go see your mother, to go see your father, to go see your brother, to go see your sister, to go see your partner, especially, stop being negative Nancy. Stop being a sad Sally. Stop being this energy which is consumed in self, consumed in self-obsession, consumed in negativity. That is the A Dharma of Purvaphalguni, which is, I'm going to be in a bad mood, so forget everyone else. No, the Dharma of Purvaphalguni is you have a responsibility to be your best self because you have a karma of having profound karmic relationships. So then you need to be your best self. So in order for help other people be their best selves too. I mean, if any divine guru shows us, it's the divine light within themselves that helps us realize the divine light within ourselves. And so understanding that when we align to this higher vibration of balance with money, balance with pleasure, trying our best to put our bad mood and our bad feelings aside so we can be present in the moment within our relationships, then Bhaga will come down and bless the poor Phalguni native with extreme wealth, with extreme pleasure in marriage and partnership, with extreme good parent-child relationship, with extreme good sibling relationship. But like with all of the Leo nakshatras, you can't feel entitled to it. You are the one who has to take the responsibility so that we can align to the pleasure of resting in the hammock. But in order to be rest peacefully within the hammock, to deserve the rest in the hammock, you have to work hard. And that's being the best version of yourself so that you can have the most harmonious relationship possible with the Purvaphalguni position.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, so now we're going to be discussing Uttaraphalguni, which is 26.4 degrees Leo to the 10 degree of Virgo. And this is a cusp nakshatra, which means, again, it's the nakshatra which combines Leo to the Virgo. The influencing planet is Surya Deva. The influencing deity is Aryaman. And I often like to use the symbol fig tree here for Uttaraphalguni. So how do we understand this influence of Aryaman? And Aryaman I always describe as the deity of perfection. And both Leo and Virgo, if you understand these rashis, have perfection energy. Now, perfection is impossible. So the Dharma of Uttaraphalguni is not to achieve, it's to strive for perfection without expectation of it. You know, whenever I see a Dharma of a Uttaraphalguni, these individuals, they have to know the full potential, the full direction that their life is the potential to take. That means if they are it is influencing their career, and let's say they're an actor, they need to know what it's going to be like to win an Oscar. They need to see that potential. If they're a musician, Grammy. If they're an athlete, the professional sports. If they're an astrologer, to headline the Parashara conference. But all of these things are very important to understand, because it's the vision through Aryaman that allows us to see the full potential of what our lives can be through Uttaraphalguni. Sky is the limit. This is the limitless nakshatra. And that's the fig tree too. The fig is like the most beautiful of all fruits. And it's pretty darn delicious as well.
I know.
But not all fruits are figs. You know, figs are almost considered sacred. They're considered holy. When we offer prasad to the divine deity, the fig is one of the most divine things that we can offer God. But mangoes aren't bad too. And neither are oranges, and neither are coconuts, and neither are blueberries and strawberries. My whole point being is that the fig is like the full potential of all fruit. I mean, it's full of ojas, it's full of nectar, it's sattvic. Oh my God, how about the fig? And you need to strive for that individual fig in your life, but you have to be able to enjoy all of the other fruits too. I mean, one of the real adharmic vibrations of the Uttaraphalguni native is that they're so focused on reaching the final destination of something that they're not able to, they're very disappointed if they don't get exactly what they want. You know, I always say this with Uttaraphalguni, that they see the way things could and should be. Seeing the way things can be, that's absolutely wonderful. You're seeing the potential of something. You're seeing the potential of yourself. You're seeing the potential in someone else. You're seeing the potential in life, which is getting the most out of life. And that's so beautiful. But seeing the way things should be, that's dangerous. Because everything is as it should be already. It is so. You know what I mean? So just because something can be something doesn't mean it should be. That's pushing our opinions on the world. That's pushing our opinions on other people. And everyone has their own journey, and the universe has its own manifestations of lessons and karmas that are way beyond us. So, I mean, the Uttaraphalguni Dharma is to really strive for in your own life how things could be, but not pushing it onto other people, which is thinking how it should be for you is also how it should be for them. And to also not have expectations. That is so important with the Dharma of Uttaraphalguni, because expectation equals disappointment. When you expect something, you are immediately disappointed, because many of the things that we expect in life, often we do not get them. So you have to say, okay, I hope for this. Like Uttaraphalguni is a real hope nakshatra. I need to hope that I can reach all of my goals in my career, in my health, in my relationship, in my spiritual practices, in my sadhana, in my education. I need to have hope that I can reach these goals. But I can't make my life just because I do not reach every single one. So, I mean, it's this real contraposition between hope and striving for potential, but letting go of expectations and learning to meet yourself and love yourself where you're at. You know, so again, the influencing energy of the sun here is pushing them to their full potential. Aryaman, the god of perfection, is pushing the individual to strive for perfection, knowing that perfection is impossible, is the true Dharma of Uttaraphalguni, even though it's something you can always work, even though it's something you can always hope for. And this is actually a warrior nakshatra. And we have to understand that in the things that we're striving for, it's a daily battle. So you take your shield out and you fight the things that are going to hold you back. And you take your sword out and you conquer life's potentials. But some battles you lose.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter if you lose the battle because life is the war.
Hmm.
And you have to constantly keep fighting. What's that next layer of not just happiness and self-realization of one's own potential, but the honoring and the seeing and the meeting people where they're at and understanding, okay, I love this person and I see what their problems are. I see what their mistakes are. I see what their issues are. But all I can do is lead by example. And that's the real Dharma of Uttaraphalguni that I want to end with, is leading by example.
Lovely.
Hopefully that was a helpful elaboration on from the beginning of Leo to 10 degrees Virgo, nakshatras 10, 11, and 12. So thank you for sharing this space with me, Navjeet ji.
Thank you so much, Kṣaṇāti. This is so wonderful. Always really nice. I'm sitting here learning like everybody else. So it's always wonderful to connect with you. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.